Hello traders, hello everyone, and welcome to our new video here on TradingView. So it will be just kind of a short update after a free webinar that we held on Monday and ahead of the next webinar, which will be again on Monday at 14 GMT, so same hour like this week. So if you were not watching this webinar, you may look for the recording, but what we've been actually talking about is this current dollar recovery that appears to be underway. So I think that this dollar strength is still not over and could potentially even accelerate if the stocks would also come even lower after the recent bounce on VIX. So before we go to this euro dollar, I want to look at just a second at this chart. Okay, so what I have here is the US yields versus the US dollar index here at the bottom. And you can see that the US yields are actually in a corrective stage and been turning to the upside earlier than the DXY. So actually DXY have seen a break to a new low because of the ECB move that spiked the euro higher. However, afterwards, we have seen a massive reversal and looks like that this corrective recovery is now in play after this broken trend line. I see very nice potential horizontal resistance here around 105 here on DXY. So this will be important key level from a technical perspective, but from more macro perspective, as you know, the important will be the CPI figure next week. So until we get this data from the US, I think that markets could be a little bit more challenging and may not see any significant breakouts. So speculators are waiting on this data to put their bets on the next potential further hikes from the Fed, or maybe they are going to stop the hiking pace like they've been actually saying for the last few months, if not or weeks. Also, the US jobs data, as you know, has been very strong. Obviously, if you have jobs data keep doing well, this normally can mean that inflation could actually be ticking higher. So obviously, with the higher rates, they want to slow down the jobs as well. But from an Elliott wave perspective, I still think that, as I said, there can be a little bit room for more upside here on this US dollar rally. Also, if you look here at the euro dollar wave count, we've been highlighting this wave A in our webinar on Monday and then said that we are expecting wave B rally. 108 was the first resistance. We almost touched it before the market came to the downside. Now I'm not really sure if we are already in wave C, headed much lower, or will wave B become a little bit more complex. I'm definitely aware of the situation that wave B could be more complex, because I think that we will not see any major breakouts till we get this CPI figure. So watch out for the potential retest of 108. Maybe if 107.50 is suddenly broken, then 108 is still the next potential resistance here. Okay, but overall, these are just short-term counter-trend moves. Keep in mind that trend is still to the upside here on the euro, and I think that more upside will occur after this corrective phase. So corrections are always healthy, because markets, as you know, will not move just straight in one direction. They will be pullbacks, but from a longer term view, I think that euro dollar could stabilize and potentially see much more upside this year. Now, looking at stocks, here I actually have Dow Jones, and it looks like that we are here, made it this very nice 5 waves up, now in a counter-trend movement, looking for a wave C drop back to the former wave 4 of 2 lesser degrees. That would be ideal, especially if we broke this trend line. Also, there could be one chance that this could be a triangle in a wave 4 if we suddenly break the upper side of this resistance. But because away from that spike, reversal was very strong and clearly impulsive, I just am aware that we could potentially see lower prices here. So if stocks are really now in a corrective mode, obviously this goes in line with the current dollar bulls that are clearly in play. Also, looking at the S&P 500 here, real quick, we are here seeing potentially a resistance for wave B, as VIX is trying to reverse from the lower side of this 2022 range. So looks like that some fear is coming back into the markets, or maybe just profit taking is the reason for the sell-off ahead of the CPI next week. So clearly, I am bullish on equities going into 2023, but I still believe that maybe some lower supports are much more attractive here. So 3800 definitely should be tracked very closely if we see that drop. Now, looking at the Aussie dollar, we came very nicely down out of this wedge pattern. Looks like that's an impulsive move. So you have now a very slow pause, which is very typical for corrective price action. Corrections, as you know, will tend to be very slow and overlapping. So I think it's a wave B here, which also, as you can see, is trying to stop or slow down here after retest of this resistance here around 6900. So I think that this is just a temporary rise. Ideal support for a turn to the upside here on Aussie would be from lower prices. I think that 670 is the first support, then you have 660 level. So that's the zone that I would look for to be retested, maybe, who knows, maybe after US CPI next week, and then we see another change in cycle here. But overall, I'm bullish Aussie. I'm tracking just a counter trend movement here. Also, final market, it's going to be Cad-Yen. Okay, so Cad-Yen, we also covered this one. Did not really change much. We have seen a very strong CAD jobs figures just now. So market was unable to break this lower 4-hour support. I still think that we are in this upward channel. Potentially, this could even be some kind of a more complex wave, maybe even triangle. But if this channel is broken, then I think that wave 4 is already finished. So no matter how I look at this whole price action, I think that this is the corrective movement, and that this is wave 4 that belongs to a higher degree bearish impulse. So very nice resistance remains at 99 up to 100, or 101 is also this former wave 4. So definitely that's the whole zone that should be tracked very closely for potential new sell-off here. Okay, traders, I hope you did enjoyed this video. So if you want more updates, also maybe on looking at some stocks and cryptos going into the next week, make sure to be with us on Monday here on TradingView, where we will do the live session. Traders, have a good day. Bye.